What is heart and soul? In the South, to have soul means to have flavor and rhythm. To have heart means to do everything with great passion. To have both means to work hard to be the very best version of oneself. Only a few demonstrate these qualities during a lifetime. But there is a venue that for 25 years has proven to have them all. The story of the Dome goes back to the 1970s.
There was a group of businessmen who wanted to make Atlanta an international city. They went to the governor at that time, Jimmy Carter, the legislative leaders, and convinced them to create an executive committee. The Georgia Stadium Corporation, John Adderholt stepped in and was the leader on that. The story was he got a poker game together one night and called 10 of his closest friends and asked them for $1 million each, and that was the seed money. They started selling seats and suites, and after a period of time, the state asked Dan Graveline and the authority to take over. And that's when we actually became involved with the Dome.
The authority is the organization that owns and operates both the World Congress Center and the Georgia Dome, as well as Centennial Olympic Park.
Yeah, the Dome really developed at a period of time where the Braves and the Falcons shared a stadium, Fulton County Stadium, and the lease was coming up on that stadium. The Falcons were the second tenant, and when their lease came up, they had an opportunity to move to Florida. Rankin Smith stated that his preference was to stay in Atlanta, but he had to have his own place to play to control his fan experience and to control the revenues that flowed from the stadium. There's a gentleman named John Adderholt who worked with Rankin Smith, worked with the legislators, worked with the city of Atlanta to create a place where the Falcons could play in downtown Atlanta, have their own stadium for the football season, but in order to make it financially feasible, it was deemed it needed to be a domed stadium. It needed to have a top on it so it could do things outside of the football season.
Well, anytime you build a facility that large, there are certainly design and construction challenges. Probably the most notable challenge for the Dome was it was at its time, and still is today, I believe, the world's largest cable-supported roof structure. It's not a retractable roof stadium, as you know, but a one-of-a-kind stadium for a roof that size, and that was probably the biggest challenge, is to make that work and function the way it's supposed to.
The genuine innovative feature of the Georgia Dome is the roof structure itself. The roof actually had to be laid out on the floor and then lifted into place, very much like, if you can imagine, you take pieces of a string and pull those into place.